Okay, so generally setup wise, as we said, just to let your arms relax on the side of the body. Don't pull them into your rib cage and jam them in. Don't want tension in your hands. If you're gripping on for dear life, you've got no chance of controlling that club face. Okay, you've got to swing that club so it gets to the point where you understand how far back you go and how far through you go will equal, we'll say in this case, 20 feet. If you go longer, here to here, 30 feet. If you go here to here, 10 foot. I mean, these are just like guesstimates, obviously, but it gives you a rough idea. Whereas before, if we actually just watch the swing of your putter now as you used to go back, it was kind of like, whoop, and the club would then recoil back on the ground. There wasn't any sort of smoothness to the hitting. You'd hit the golf ball here now, and then after the shot, it's sort of coming back this way, okay? Because there's that tension in your arms. Your arms can't stay in that position without sort of shaking, and they just go, and they relax, and the putter drops on the floor.
Right, okay.
If you watch good putters on TV, on tour, or even just guys at your club when you're playing with them, okay? Just watch their swing of their putter now. Yeah? It just swings through. So this now is staying where you need to be. And again, by doing this now and watching it, you're learning. If I go back to here, where you went back here, okay, and then go through to about there, I think it was, sort of an equal distance through, there you go. So you have the same nice kind of controlled length both sides. In your head, your eyes are going to see where that ball's gone, see how far that putt's travelled and gone, okay, that is my X length putt. Now obviously putts are going to play different based on green speed. Up or downhill. So if you're playing on a green that's going to be uphill from 20 feet, it might going to roll about 25 feet or play around 25 feet. If you're going downhill, it's going to play a lot shorter, So you just have to judge that based on your reading of the greens, Right. At least you'll have a benchmark to start from where, okay, if I swing the putter now this way and this way, and it's just a much more relaxed swing of the putter this way, as we said, rather than that kind of jabbing with the putter that you had before. Because if you jab the putter, and you hit it too hard, all you're measuring now is going to be, hit it too hard, hit the next one softer. And then, well, how do you measure soft or hard? You know how to hit softer or harder, but it's not exactly accurate in terms of, a little bit less or a bit more or a little bit more. It's always guessing, isn't it? So if we can stand on a putting green and go, okay, right, I know if I swing a putter of this kind of length, with that kind of length of swing, then, okay, it's going to be okay. As opposed to, I'm just going to hit it this hard or hit that soft. So that would be regarding the swing of the putter. In terms of practice, one of the ones we discussed, obviously, that leapfrog game. If I kind of use this on here as a guide, so use the edge of the green there. You sort of start down here with a golf ball, and you can put a little tee peg in the ground there, right? Your first putt has to go beyond that green tee peg. You're going towards the edge of the green here, If your golf ball goes beyond that green tee peg, you move the tee peg to where the ball went. That's 1 point. If the ball then goes beyond that green tee peg, you move it to the next one where it goes. That's 3. And you just keep getting as close as you can. And eventually, when the ball goes off the green, then you finish that game. And you keep a count of how many times you effectively leapfrog. Set a scarf, get a target. Well, exactly. If you leave it short of the tee or the mark on the ground, you restart. So you set yourself a best. Okay, I think you did 4 or 3 or whatever it was. So next time you do that, okay, I'm trying to beat 3 or 4. So now you've got a target to try and aim towards. It puts a bit of pressure under your practice. So if you say eventually you get to a stage where you're like 7, 8, 9 maybe, and you think, I want to get double figures. My goal this week, I'm going to go to the putting green. I'm going to work on my stroke and get that kind of strike working well. As we said, putting those 2 golf balls on the outside of the golf ball here. So we'd have 2 golf balls kind of on the outside. Come here. 2 golf balls on the outside there, and you're going to swing the putter through that gate, getting a good strike. You're going to work on that and everything else. Once you've done that for sort of 10 or 15 minutes, you go, right, I'm going to beat my best score now. I'm going to get 10, So now you're putting a bit of challenge on your practice. If you then the first one you get to 7 or 8, come on, I've got to do better. You'll want to do better because your own competitive sort of nature wants to beat your best, And it starts putting a bit of practice and a bit of pressure while you're doing your putting practice, rather than doing the same putt over and over and over again.
The thing is, doing it over and over and doing it wrong.
Well, you're exactly, and you encourage then obviously the bad swing rather than actually encouraging the better swing. Okay, so that's the one for distance control. Then just putt again round the hole from 3 or 4 feet continually. How many can you hold in a row without missing? If you can get 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever, you'll start creating personal bests. Create competition amongst yourself. And you can challenge some of your mates. Like, come on guys, let's have this little game. We'll do it for £1, or we'll do it for drinks or coffee or whatever. Just put a little bit on it, just to make it a little bit more competitive, a little bit more difficult in your practice. So then when you go and play, it's not like, I'm no good at putting now, yeah? So all that time on the putting green, hitting the same putt over and over again, and now I can't putt.
But there's no consistency.
Exactly. You hit the same putt over and over again, you could put it with your eyes shut through your leg, yeah? And some say, a bit long, a bit short, a bit less. You get some close eventually. But is it good putting? No, not even close. All right?
It's luck.
Exactly, yeah. And the thing is, you're relying on lots of different variables. In the past, when you were gripping it that tight, your contact was a little bit hit and miss, yeah? And the thing with putting, as we said, if you miss hit a putt, you won't notice it. It still rolls on the ground. I mean, no one's going to miss hit a putt that bad. It sort of shoots off sideways, where you catch it kind of, say, right on the toe of the golf club there. You're going to hit the face of the golf club, we'd assume, all right? But the ball's still going to roll, yeah? So you wouldn't notice a miss hit putt. All you see is the ball coming up short and go, I'll hit it harder, doink. Then you strike it properly. Now it's 10-foot past. My distance control's terrible. Yeah. So
with the
I would say if your hand size, if you're not the biggest hand, I think that's thick enough to be fair. Yeah. And again, it's comfort. You might find in a couple of weeks' time you want to go back to that one because they're similar kind of shapes, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're made by the same person.
Yeah.
But the flat ones compared to just the thin ones, is it?
That's fine. No, that's fine. I mean, both of those are the same in terms of their face balance. So if I sort of put the putter there now, okay, that face points to the sky. Okay, so this putter now wants to kind of swing on a fairly kind of square. There's a slight arc to your putting swing. It doesn't go back dead straight perfectly, but this one's not designed to sort of get too much twist on the face, the way the design's made. So that generally works for most golfers better, I think. But yeah, it's getting the arms in relaxed so you can control what your arms do by using it. Don't jab them in there and your arms are vibrating before as if you're trying to grapple onto that golf club. Exactly, mate, yeah. It all translates through, yeah. Exactly, yeah. Does that make sense then, Clive? Yeah? Excellent, really, really good, mate.